Okay, hi everybody. We're having a little technical fun today, a little bit of blinking in our recording and stuff. But hopefully everything will work. Hopefully live stream is happening. We'll see. So hello everybody. Hopefully the live stream class is starting up right. We're having a little bit of a technical issue today. We got a little bit of blinking and flickering going on with Facebook, but we're starting up our 6:30 to 7:15 class. I am by myself today. Simon has the day off. We've been filming a lot to get a whole bunch of stuff done, and it's physically demanding. So we decided to split some classes up today. So I'm here all by myself. Simon has the day off. Tomorrow I take the day off. Simon works all day. So woohoo! Good for me. It's my last class of the day. All right, let's see who's joining in today. Let's see, we're gonna wait just a minute or two. As normal, we want everybody to warm up before they log in. If you're logging in, just say hello, let me know. And we got, all right, Chris is already logged on, wonderful. We're gonna do some movement today, since it's me. I wanna do some movement in our little 9x9 square. Working on a concept of our stepping drill and how we can use our stepping drill to help create new angles. And that's one of the things we're going to do. I'm going to wait just a tiny bit longer to see if anybody else jumps in real quick, but then we're going to start. And with this being the One World Martial Arts Academy basic live stream class, we're going to go through all our 3-count drills to begin. So it's going to be 3-count drills as our warm up. Hopefully you guys have already warmed up. And after we go through our 3-count drills, which are going to be, for this particular class, stances, steps, blocks, punches, and the first 3 knees of the kicking drill. We're going to go through all of those. We're going to get those dialed in real nice today. We're going to talk a little bit about the biomechanics of that motion. And then after we get all that down, I want to, like I said, I want to work on the concept of motion within a small space to help us move and angle our bodies to create new angles, to create new openings. And it's more of a practical lesson. A lot of what I hope is helping you understand what we mean when we say we are a mobility-based and movement-based martial art. Okay? All right, so let's begin. All right, I'm in my 9x9 square. I've got my tape here. You can't necessarily see the colors of the tape, but I hope you can see some of the tape lines so that you can at least see the angles, because those angles are going to be very important today. We are using our star and our colors. If you are unfamiliar with our star and our colors, go to the coaching videos that are included in every enrollment in One World Martial Arts Academy. You should be able to get to the coaching resources, unless you're trying to not be there for that one. But these angles are basically straight out to the sides, forward and back, and then at 45-degree angles forward and backwards. So that's basically it. You got a little star here, got an angle at the 45, the 90, the 45 behind us, straight back, 45, 90, 45, straight forward. Okay? All right, everybody start. Put your heels together, bend your knees, hands out. Take chip. Let's bow in. Put your hands together down low to your heart, head, out to the triangle, looking through the triangle. Turn your hands over. Breathe in chamber. Breathe out next block. And down. Okay, let's get started. Let's get in the center of our square. Get to a ready position. Ready position. Feet are shoulder distance apart. Toes are pointed straight ahead. Knees are bent. Back is straight. Hands are up. Elbows are in. Head is down. Eyes are forward. And you're relaxed. So 9 counts to the ready position. You should look like this. Nice and relaxed. Feet shoulder distance apart. Toes pointed straight ahead, back straight. Don't hunch over. Don't cinch up your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Stay relaxed. All right, now let's do the drills. First, we're going to step out to the side. H stance right. Drop out here. Drop your weight. And now keep your head here. Don't go up and down for the rest of this drill. Stay low. 2. L stance. H stance. Pardon me. H stance left. Stay low. 2. L stance right. 2. L stance left. Turn that toe out. Keep it pointed that way. Make your feet to the shape of an L. 2. In stance right. Keep the toes pointed forward. Don't let your knees crumple in. Keep your feet down. Keep your shoulders forward. Keep looking at your spot, which is in here at this angle. It's not straight over here. It's in at the angle. We're moving outward. 2. And then in stance left. There it is. Keep it there. Okay? Don't let your knees collapse in. 2. And 2. That's our basic 3-count stance drill. We go over this over and over and over again, and we expect our students to train the 3-count drills for 3 months. Because if you get these down, everything else for the next 5 years comes very, very, very easy. If you don't get these down, you're struggling with the fundamentals instead of learning the more advanced. Ready, position? Let's do the stepping drill following the same movement pattern. Ready? Side step right. 2. Side step left. See how I'm getting outside of that black square? I'm not going way over here. I'm not hopping out of control. I'm staying in control, but I'm getting a full body width, full body size away from where I was. I was in the black, now I'm here. Okay? 2. Back step right. Same thing too. I don't want to bobble up and down. Stay level. 2. Back step left. I'm just going in an in stance. This foot's in front of this one. I'm still pointed forward. 2. In stance right. Just outside that black. 2. In stance left. And I'm not letting my knees collapse in or spread them out. Okay? 2. And 2. And that's a stepping drill. So stepping and stances, again, are not opposites. They are not opposite sides of the same coin. They are complementary. Stances develop balance and power. Steps develop speed and mobility. And you need to use both. Okay. Ready, position. Now, when we do these drills, very often we allow ourselves to cheat out just a little bit when we're doing blocking and punching, and that's okay. We just don't want to get super wide, okay? We don't want to be in a really, really deep while we're doing our punching. We don't want to get into a habit of really deep stances and punching for a very important reason. We want to keep our feet a little narrower because we are martial arts, and martial arts have things called kicks and knees and elbows and headbutts, and you need mobility. If you want to get into a really deep stance to start slugging and throwing big power bomb punches, great. But this is just a really bad idea for self-defense as far as we're concerned. Keep your feet closer together, helps protect your groin, helps increase your mobility at the sacrifice of really anchoring down and throwing big bombs. You can't take without giving away, okay? I'm taking mobility and safety and giving away a little bit of power possible in these big bombing punches. But I also have the ability with narrower feet to use kicks and knees and everything else I need. It's really hard to kick from back here. Okay? I want to be here. Movement. All right. Here we go. You ready? Cheat them out a tiny bit. Go to your right X. Turn, lean, and strike with the forearm. Overhead block right. X. Overhead block left. X. And that's the last time I'm going to leave my blocks up in the air. Okay, I'm showing you the power of the striking and the position, but after your block, bring it back to the X. Don't leave your punches out there. Don't leave your blocks out there. You block and come back. You ready? We're going to block and come back with outside block right. Bring it back. Outside block left. Low block right. Low block left. And 2. Okay? I'm taking a break between every drill because I'm giving teaching notes today. I want to make sure you understand some of the finer points and finer things that are going on here. Hey, all right. Hi, Helen. Welcome. If you have any questions during training, if I'm going too fast or I'm moving too fast, write a question. And when I have a time, I'll check to see if any questions have come up and I'll answer them. Okay, let's continue with the 3-count drills. That's the blocking. I'm cheating out a little bit. That's okay. We want to do the same thing with our punch. Now, again, the first punch, I'm going to hold it out there so you can see, but then I'm going to punch and recover, okay? So we're going to do the punching drill 2 times today, one in slow motion and one with a little bit of snap and power, okay? So my feet are slightly more than shoulder distance apart because I'm cheating them out a little bit to help develop power. I'm going to high and tight chamber up top here. I don't want to chamber low at the belt. okay? A lot of martial arts do chamber at the belt. We don't. We're high and tight chamber. And you're going to take your left hand and cover your life support, nose, mouth, throat. You're going to cover recovering elbow. Your fist is going to kind of punch your shoulder right here to create a real triangle, okay? But then I'm going to put it up here so I can see it with my high and tight. And I'm going to turn and lean, shifting my weight so that my head moves. If you look at my head, where it is in relation to the two flags behind me, you'll see it shift way over here towards the American flag and then way over here towards the school flag when I do my punching and blocking. That's important. So here we are covered. Everybody turn and lean and short punch right. Okay, short punch is sternum high. This is a speed punch. It goes in and out and comes back. And then after you punch, it goes to the cover. All right? And short punch left. And cover. Now let's continue going slow motion, but let's try not to stop. Let's turn and lean and long punch, head high, long punch right. And go to your cover. Long punch left. And go to your cover. All right? Keep turning, pulling with the covering hand to a tight chamber. Turn your body and throw the uppercut. Uppercut right. See how I'm still here in my chamber as I turn? Uppercut right. Cover. And then uppercut left. Cover. Okay, now I'm going to move forward so you can see my punches a little cleaner here as we go a little bit faster. Now, why do our uppercuts go way in the air? A boxing uppercut doesn't. Boxing uppercut, we drop, we punch up, we come back, we're punching up into one basic target, okay? The uppercut's here, the dig is to here, but we're dropping our weight, we're throwing that punch up and snapping up and coming back. This is not a boxing uppercut that we're doing. This is what we call a clearing uppercut. Our uppercut can actually move things out of the way. So when we do aim for the strike, if we miss, we can clear. We can clear. Again, nothing you do doesn't provide a negative. There's every positive is a negative. So when I clear, I'm also opening up. So you got to be a little careful about that. But the theory behind this uppercut is clearing. And that clearing can open you up because we're going from the clearing to a cover that might allow us to get lower. So here I am a little closer, and we're going to go through the punching with a little bit of snap pop. Remember now you can't see my legs, but I'm turning and I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm popping my heel down a little bit. Don't worry about that if that's too much to think about right now. Just shift your weight over so that your head does not go past your knee, okay? Don't let it past your knee. Just go to here. Don't lean with your back and put your head way over past your knee. Keep your back straight, okay? So cover left, high and tight chamber right. And then we're going to turn and lean and short punch, which is a vertical fist, short punch right. See that vertical fist? Thumb here, and then we go to our cover. Short punch left, cover. Long punch right, and cover. Long punch left, and cover. Uppercut right, and cover. Uppercut left, and cover. Now, I hope you noticed that those linear punches all went straight into the camera. Short punch, long punch, uppercut are all directly in front of the camera because I'm picking the camera as my space, my bad guy. And that's where it is. The linear punches are center line punches. The first three punches, punching along a center line. I'm getting out of the way, but my bad guy's in one spot. So both my punches have to go to that same spot. Okay? So even though I'm leaning for defensive movement, my punches still have to go to where the bad guy is. So we want to shift and lean as we do all this. Okay? And that's drill number 4. Drill number 5 is the kicking drill. But the first 3 kicks are nothing but knees, okay? Knees come first. All good kicks start with knees. So if you've got a front knee, and a roundhouse knee, and a checking knee, then you've got the beginnings of very good kicks. So get into a habit of lifting the knee up high. Knee it is. Thinking about your balance, working on keeping your knees bent, okay? Working on strengthening the ankles, because that's where most of us roll on our ankles when we're moving. Because that's the weak part that's not used to doing this. So keep your weight centered over your legs. Keep your knees bent for shock absorption. And focus on turning maybe on the balls of the foot when you need to. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. Get your hands up, get into your ready position. The check knee is very simple. You're going to close your legs off. You're going to bring up your knee and touch the inside of your foot to your standing knee. But don't stand up straight, okay? If you stand up straight, you're just a tree that's been cut off, ready to fall down. Bend your knees so you have a shock absorber, okay? Keep your hands up and check. See how my head is not bobbing up and down? And check, okay? Then you're going to bring the knee in and drive it up and forward. Front knee. A lot of use of the hips pushing forward. Front knee left. Okay? Now, as we start to rotate on a plane, when we start coming across with our knee, coming from the outside in rather than straight forward, we're going to turn our foot out, allow our knee to come up, and then come across. The risk of turning your foot out first while you're going slow is that then your knee will come up over here, and you don't want that. The bad guy's in front of you. The knee has to come up here and then turn across. So even though I turn my foot out, I want the knee to come up forward and over, like I'm putting it on a table, okay? Then I can turn out this foot and come up and over, put it on a table, and come back. Okay, let me come up a little bit here so you can't see my legs. You see my belt right here, right? When I do a check knee, you can barely see my knee is only coming up about as high as my waist, maybe a little bit below, because it's all about where the foot touches the knee. But for the front knee and the roundhouse knee, get that knee up, okay? Drive that knee up, but don't lean back here to be lazy to get the knee up, okay? Stay steady and drive that knee forward and up, okay? Try to get above the waist as high as you can, but not to the point where you're hopping. Don't hop with your knee. That's going to encourage you to fall backwards. When you do the roundhouse knee, when I say put it on a table, I mean come up and put it on a table. Pretend this is laying on a table. Okay, and then come back down with it. That's what I mean by putting it on a table. All right, so those are the 5 basic drills we want to learn when we first get started. It provides you with a very, very, very solid fundamental of not just technique. It's not just, oh, good, now I can punch. Oh, good, now I can block. But the theory behind our system is contained in these first drills. If you understand the importance of turning and leaning, you understand the importance of getting off line, whether it be a step or a stance. If you understand the importance of getting your head off line as you punch and block, and you understand the importance of being able to hold that balance and be able to lift that leg up and lead with the knee for your kicks, you've got the fundamentals you need to progress quickly through this system. Okay, having done that now, let's talk a little bit about practical application. And this is something we like to do a lot of because it's a little different. In some systems, they tend to wrap this into sport and leave it in sport. We don't do that because it's intrinsic to the entire system. Okay? Movement, mobility. Movement and mobility. So I've got this star on the ground. Oh, I forgot to bring the mats out. I apologize, guys. I had another mat I was going to show you guys again for new students. But the star, it's got 9 points. The center is number 9, but you can go around the clock or the star, and you've got these 45 degrees. Every 45 degrees, there's a line. So straight in front of you, 45, 90, all the way around, all the way around. Okay. So on this star, we use different colors. And in the coaching resources, we have it, like I said. Now, in this star, when we begin, we talk about stepping out on the line. Stepping out on the line, right? In deep stances on the line. And then stepping, but staying on the 90. Stepping and staying on the 45. And that's great. But here's something you can do. You can put, and I'd like everybody to do this. Everybody put your left foot forward, please. Put your left foot forward, put your right foot back. So if you have a star, Chris, I noticed you're watching. Chris, if you have a star, put your right foot on the orange tape and put your left foot on the purple tape. Okay? Put your right foot on the orange tape, put your left foot on the purple tape, facing the front. And what we're going to do is now we're in a shallow in stance. Keep it shallow. And this is a mobility-based offensive stance so that we have our power weapons behind us that we can bring to bear if we need to. But we keep our hands up, moving around. And we've already talked about this concept of stepping out the purple, but punching back onto the red because the bad guy's in front of us. So when I step over here, I'm moving to the side of the bad guy. So I'm not stepping out here and punching. That's a straight line. What I'm doing is stepping out here and punching over this way because that's where the bad guy is. Okay, so that kind of movement angle creates another 90 degree or another 45 degree, depending on which way we're moving. So if we've got our left foot forward on the purple and our right foot back on the orange, okay, and we've got our hands up, we can step out the purple but punch in on the red. And I want to do that 10 times, very basic, with the half step. The half step is left, right. We take the left and we go from regular stance to deep stance to regular. Okay, and our feet never come together. That's a shuffle step. No shuffle stepping, half stepping, big to regular. And then you can step back, big to regular. Okay, that's the half step. When we do this half step, we want to take our punches and we're going to just throw a punch. If you're not comfortable throwing a punch yet or it's messing you up, don't even worry about it. The movement is what's important today. So if you don't want to throw a punch, just step forward and step back. If you can throw a punch and you only want to throw one, step forward with the left, punch with the left, and step back. Step forward and step back, right? Step forward, step back, okay? That's our half step. We've already trained this quite a bit for some of you, but I want to do that, and we're going to do it for 1 minute nonstop. We're going to move forward and back, or back and forward, and because we have this angle, you can take 2 steps, okay? You're allowed to step forward, step back, and step back again. If you want to go forward twice, forward, forward, back, forward, back, back, forward, forward, okay? And that's all we're going to do with the left foot forward. That's all we're going to do, forward and back on a 45-degree angle for 1 minute. You guys ready? Everybody hands up. Just practice this. You don't have to punch if you don't want to, but if you can, to practice throwing a punch, connect it to your step. Your punch and step should happen together. If that's a little bit much for you right now, you're new, got a couple new students that have peeked in, don't worry about the punch yet. It's the movement we're working on. 1 minute. Ready? I'm looking at my clock. And go. Keep your eyes up. Don't look at your feet. You don't look at your feet when you're walking down the street. Don't look at your feet right now. Try to practice keeping both feet on the ground. Don't let one foot come up like this while you're stepping, or this foot stay off the ground. Okay, we're not hopping to and from one foot to the other. It's 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. Okay, but let your feet drop. Keep going, guys. That's only 30 seconds. I hope we can do more than that. Okay, stay relaxed. Just see, I'm not doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Take your time. Step, step, step. Think about your movement. Okay, and this movement is really important. This half step is really, really valuable. Stay loose. Move around a little bit. Step forward, step back. Just keep doing what you're doing. Try not to let your foot turn out wide. Try not to go into an L stance or a T stance. We're not sword fighting. Keep your toes pointed forward. Step in your end. Okay, stay on the balls of your feet. Stay on the balls of your feet. And time. Stop there. Okay. Normally I make Cy Miles do this, but he's got the day off. So if I'm breathing heavy, forgive me. It's really hard to do. No, it's not that bad. But we should definitely be able to do 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay? Should definitely be able to do that. Now, that's the half step. That's not actually what I wanted to work tonight. What I want to work tonight is the idea of turning my body back into the opponent. After the step, during the step, the intermediate motion of completing the step. So, if I've got my left foot forward on purple, I got my right foot back on orange, and I want to step up the purple, okay? We've already trained, we can step out and punch, we can throw a combo, and then we can turn our body, and now I'm facing this way, and that's great. But what if I just want to get to face that way right away? I can step out and turn and throw the punch that'll turn me that way, or I can just step out and turn my feet. And my body is turned to face this wall now. So instead of half stepping with my toes pointing forward towards the camera, which is what we just did, I can step out and turn my body. And now I'm right foot forward. Just by my body, I turn right foot forward. okay? So there's a lot of things we can do with that. One of the things we can do is as we can step with a arcing strike as opposed to a linear strike. So I can do this step with a hook. And then I'm here going this direction. So we want to be able to, we want the idea of being able to step out and turn and step back, right? And switch feet and turn, and not just switch feet and go this way and go this way and switch and go this way. But the idea that switching feet can actually turn my body 90 degrees. And that's what I want to work on right now. It doesn't seem very complicated. Whew, it's going to blow you away a little bit because it's hard to do. And you want to stay loose on your feet. You want to stay light. You want to stay relaxed. And you want your stance to stay fairly narrow, or regular, we call it, a regular stance. And I want you guys to be able to step out with your left foot and pivot into your right in stance, but not step and pivot. I want you to step and be here as you step and face this way. And then I want you to step back along that orange and pivot back. Okay? I want you to practice doing that. Here, and then step back, here. And it's all about just letting the body turn as you move. Okay? That's the obvious thing. But what you want to be able to do is you want to get to the point where you start doing, for those of you that are yellow belts and higher, you want to get to the point where you can start doing all of your steps in the stepping drill. Your side step and turn, that's the hardest. Forward step and turn, back step and turn, drag step and turn, back step bar and turn, and the switch step and turn. So for you guys that are a little higher along, that are doing 6 and 9 stances and steps, this becomes a big deal when suddenly instead of doing forward step right turn, you're doing forward step right turn drag step, but you're not just stepping out and turning, you're doing forward and turning and really dragging. And I'm facing backwards now by being able to do that drag step. Because I'm turning in the step without bringing my feet together and without crossing over and tripping my own legs. All right, so let's start with the easy one, Chris. Let's put that left foot forward. Let's put that right foot back. We're going to step forward with our left foot, but we're going to turn and face the wall when we do it. So you're going to step out, and it's almost a hop, but it's not. Don't jump to here. Okay? Don't jump. You step out and then your feet turn. Fast. Okay? That's what I want you guys to practice just a little bit. That very easy. We don't need to do this for a minute. We need to do this 10 times. Get your hands up. And we're going to step and turn to the wall. And then we're going to step back and face the front. So ready? And 1. And step back. 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. Look at it. 4. The idea is you're going around somebody. Okay? 5. 5. 6. 6. 7. Think about your toes. Keep them pointing. 7. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. 10. And just turning and breathing and exhaling when you're moving. This turning and pivoting at the hips and not hopping, it's going to help you get around. Let me show you what I mean by that. So, in a perfect world, the bad guy's all the way over there, and I'm all the way back here. When I'm back here, we've got range and distance. I've got my hands up. I'm trying to leave. Leave me alone. I'm going away. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to do in self-defense, which is avoid fighting. And I'm trying to get away from a bully or a bad guy. And the guy reaches out for me or does his thing, and we train this, right? If he reaches out or throws a punch, and I can slip or block, and I come out here, right? And I slip that in. That's what we were training earlier, the half step with the punch. But what if this person charges me, right? If I'm stepping, he's going past my punch. If I'm stepping and he's going past my punch and I'm trying to punch with this hand, I'm reaching across my body. Yes, I can throw this punch out. Yes, I can, if I'm ready for it. But one of the other things I can do, if this guy is aggressive, is when I do my step, I can turn. And now I'm here and he's turned sideways. I'm facing him, he's facing there. That's the benefit of this quick turn. Okay, the quick turn is the sentry is his face. Okay? So if I'm facing that and I step, I'm here and he's facing that way now. See? I can work from the outside of his effective zone. So this little hop gets me outside of his effective zone. That little thing creates a whole new set of angles. It takes my whole star and whoop, moves it right to here. Because the star follows me. And I can apply the star to my opponent. But the star follows me. So if I'm stepping out the blue, that's one thing. But if I turn, I'm now at the center of my star again, and the star is turned. And now my red's going over here. And I'm doing my other stuff. This is incredibly important. This is very, 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 very common. This is so common as to be a no-duh moment for anyone who's done boxing or kickboxing. This move is one of the earliest things you taught. So move around, switch. Move around, switch. Move around, just switch your feet. Right? Move around, step, switch, step through, keep boxing. Right? Move around, switch, step back, keep boxing. Right? So that's a very common concept of reorienting the zone of fighting. Some of you guys are self-defense. You know what I'm talking about when I say zone of effectiveness, right? Zone of effectiveness. I'm facing forward, 45 this way, 45 this way. This 90-degree cone is where I'm most effective, between here and here. I got all my weapons. I can do everything in here. If you can get outside of my arms and get closer to the 180, if you can get out there, I'm not as effective because half of my body is no longer useful. I have to turn and reorient. And so I have to reorient before I can bring half of my weapons to bear. So you want to remove half of somebody's weapons? Step out and turn. You now removed half of their weapons until they turn back to you. But while they're turning, you're acting. So that's why we want to be able to do that. That little hop seems, pardon me, I walked off camera, seems a little silly, seems a little obvious, but it's not obvious. And a lot of people don't do it, which is a huge mistake. All right. So, right foot forward, left foot back. Let's step forward in the half step with our hands up. Step out the blue line for those of you that have the star. Step out, step back, step forward. Did I trick you? Did you expect me to go forward? It's okay. Pay attention. Here we go. You're in the middle. We're going to go forward. Step forward. Half step. Step back. Step back again. Step forward. Step forward. Step back. Stop. Step forward. Right? You can just do whatever you want. Start going a little bit. Forward and back. Keep your toes pointed. This is what we did first. Stay loose. Don't stomp. Move. Stay light. Stay light. Right? Wide to narrow. Wide to narrow. Wide to narrow. Wide to narrow. Wide. 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 Okay? Keep moving a little bit like this. Now, stop. Get ready. Hands up. Step and turn. Okay? Reorient. Okay? Step back and turn. Okay? Step and turn. Step back and turn. Step and turn. Step back and turn. If you ever watch a really good shadow boxer, you look up YouTube shadow boxing. If you ever see really good shadow boxers, they use that movement all the time because they're shadow boxing, right? And they'll still step up and switch, and this foot will come all the way back. They'll do the drag step. They'll be moving around, and they'll just step and move and move and move the foot back. And they'll just turn 90 degrees. They'll turn more than that, turn 180 degrees, because it reorients you and makes your opponent reorient as a reaction. And reaction is always slower than action. So if you can step out here and then reorient here, you've got the advantage. Okay? Movement, mobility. We do it from day one. It's one way we're a little different from other systems. Let's go back. Let's review our 3-count drills. Feet together, arms out. Chin. Ready position. 3-count drills, go through with me. H stance right. 2. H stance left. 2. Look up. L stance right. Don't look at your feet. 2. L stance left. Keep your back straight. Drop your weight 50-50. For now, when you're first learning 50-50 feet flat, you can start to shift later because we always shift. But in the beginning, let's learn to step deep and drop our weight, keep our back straight. 2. In stance right. 2. In stance left. 2. Side step right. 2. Side step left. 2. Back step right. 2. Back step left. 2. Forward step right. 2. Forward step left. 2. Step out X. Right hand on the outside. Overhead block right. X. Overhead block left. X. Outside block right. X. Outside block left. X. Low block right. X. Low block left. X. Chamber. Cover. Bend your knees. Turn and lean. Ready? Short punch right. Cover. Short punch left. Cover. Long punch right. Cover. Long punch left. Cover. Uppercut right. Cover. Uppercut left. Cover. Ready position. Check right. Bring the knees in. Don't leave your knee out like this. Check left. Bring the knee in. Front knee right. Front knee left. Turn the foot out. Roundhouse knee right. Put it on a table. Turn the foot out. Roundhouse knee left. Put it on a table. Feet together, arms out. Attention. Now, normally I'd have somebody looking for questions, but I'm going to go check right now. Everybody take a deep breath. Let me see if anybody has any questions. Well, you guys are easy today. I don't have any questions. That's really nice. I usually try to leave the last 10 minutes for questions or concerns or, oh, maybe I'm a little unsure about this or about that. It's okay. So let's take this time, since we got Chris here and we got Helen here, let's take this time to go over a little bit of good body biomechanics for our turning and leaning as far as blocking and punching, okay? So I'm going to stand in front of the camera pretty close. You don't need to see my legs and stuff for what I'm about to tell you. What I want to focus on is shoulders, torso, head, okay? So if I get close enough to the camera, when I turn and lean, my body goes way over to this side. But you'll notice, I try to keep my back as straight as I can. I'm going to lean forward a little bit, of course I am. But I'm not going to lean, okay? Because here's the thing. See this fun little belt we wear? Okay. The belt goes around this imaginary thing called the waist. There is no waist. The waist was invented to sell belts. It's not a body part. We don't have a waist. So we shouldn't bend at the waist because it's not real. We have a spine and we have a pelvis. And the spine is designed for this. The spine is designed to rotate. Yes, it is flexible. Yes, we can go forward and backwards. Oh, yeah. But it's designed to allow us to do this, okay? The longer we've remained upright as a species, the more our spine has evolved to help us do this, okay? The pelvis helps push us forward and backwards, side to side. The pelvis is a big, ginormous bone where some of the biggest muscles in our body connect to. So what we don't want to do is take all of this, put it way in front of our pelvis, and then rely on just these little muscles to control the whole upper part of our body. Because not only does it weaken us, by not maintaining a straight spine, we are moving our center of gravity forward and upward. If I drop just a little bit, like I said, you don't need to see my knees, but if I drop and bend my knees and keep my back straight, my center of gravity drops into my pelvis. This is now the center of gravity. All I need to do to ruin the center of gravity is this. By doing that, my center of gravity is going right up to my belly button. This much. Doing this, my center of gravity is now my chest. That's how fast it is. Center of gravity is in my pelvis, where I have control. belly button, chest. I'm already falling forward on my toes. That's already all the way up here. Okay, it doesn't take much. So get used to keeping your back as straight as you can, even when you turn and lean. Now, here's the next moment. You notice I'm standing sideways, and I turn and lean, and suddenly it looks like I'm facing you. It's because I am. The body and spine can rotate. So do it. Take the shoulder and move it. Okay, now, we don't want to overextend or hyperextend, because hyperextending a punch or a block actually disengages a couple strong muscles back here. And we need to use those muscles to punch. We need to use shoulder muscles. We need to use back muscles. We need to use the chest. We need to use the bicep and the tricep. We need to use the core. We need to use the thighs, and we need to use the glutes, and we got to use our whole body to punch. So if we hyperextend and we lose a very strong shoulder muscle, we're actually losing strength. But turning the shoulder in engages the lat and these shoulder muscles to punch in with that punch. And by turning the shoulder in, I can get offline and still punch in a linear, shortest distance between 2 points, straight line, punch. Harder to block, harder to react to in time, faster, gets to the target faster, can have a lot of power as long as we're not overextending and then losing some of those muscles, okay? But we definitely want to extend up. And the way we always said, make sure that, my instructor always said, you know you haven't overextended if your shoulder is touching your cheek. If your shoulder is touching your cheek, you haven't overextended. Okay, but I'm not going to punch you like this. I'm going to do this because it gets further and longer and I can reach further. Okay, so we want to rotate on our spine, not bend. And we want to turn the shoulder towards the opponent, but not just turn like this, staying here. Okay, not just staying here, not this. We want this, turn and lean. The shoulder will happen naturally. I don't have to turn too much of my spine. The pelvis and spine will redirect my whole body this way. Or to redirect my whole body this way. Okay? But it's not directing the inertia that way if I'm punching out here. I can still engage all those muscles that I need to punch out here, to block up here, to block out here. Okay? To punch up here. Okay? I can still engage everything. But you want to think about turning your torso, which we have here, so that I can employ my back weapons fast. Turning, not here, right? Here. Rotation of the pelvis, rotation of the torso, rotation of the spine, rotation of the shoulders. But my head needs to be on a swivel. You can't do this. I'm not looking at you anymore. That's a really bad idea. You can't do this, okay, or this. I have to keep my head looking, not just my eyes, not out of the corner of my eyes. Keep your head where you can see what's going on. We're binocular creatures. Keep both eyes on the prize. Don't turn and just look out of one eye, okay? Keep your eyes on the prize. All right, I see something popping up here like a question. Let's see. Oh, okay, cool, great. Helen, yes, absolutely. How do I make a fist? Great question. So when I make a fist, first and foremost, we want this flat, okay? So when I say flat, most people do this. They bend it down trying to make it flat. Don't. Squeeze tight, and you'll notice that you'll tend to do a ski jump ramp. Make it flat. The idea being if you put something on your knuckles and your forearm, there'd be no gap underneath. If you turn it down, there'd be a gap here. So try to keep it flat between here and here with no gap if possible. And that's the flat you want. When you punch, you want to squeeze momentarily. So you keep your hands relaxed, you keep your body relaxed when you're punching. But when you make contact, you've got to squeeze tight. You've got to squeeze your hand tight, because if you don't squeeze tight, you run the risk of damaging your fingers, pushing them against their own hand, or doing this, which we don't like to do for a punch. So a punch, to do a really good fist, curl your fingers in, curl them down, and put the thumb across these knuckles right here, okay? Put the thumb down here. Now you see those are below these knuckles right here. These are the two knuckles you should be hitting with. You should be striking with your index finger and your middle finger top knuckles. That's what should be hitting the target when you punch, okay? I don't know if I can do that here. Okay, right there. That's where you're punching and hitting, okay? With a nice flat wrist, You're right there. You're hitting with those knuckles. If you turn the fist so that these knuckles hit first and this is flat, the energy transfer goes right up the forearm, which is what you want. Those are pretty strong bones. We don't want this bending sideways. We definitely don't want this because the energy is going to transfer down and sprain your wrist. Okay? And we definitely don't want this. This is knocking on the door. We don't want to knock on the door. It'll bend the wrist back. We want to keep that wrist flat. We want to hit with these two knuckles. We want to make a nice tight fist by curling in tight, rolling down, thumb across. Now, having said that, the very first punch we throw, the thumb's here. What? Yeah, I know. Martial arts, they make rules and then they break them. I don't know. But we put the punch here because it's a vertical fist, meaning it's punching with the thumb up. And we're throwing this punch in this way. And we're squeezing down on the top of our hand. We still have a flat wrist. None of that's changed. We're still hitting with these knuckles. None of that's changed. Some people do throw a short punch or a vertical fist like this. We put it up here because as we get more sophisticated in our striking, we're going to be hitting things with that thumb. Okay, soft targets, soft tissue targets. So we tend to put our thumb here as we do our short punch, okay? But if you put it here for all your punches in the beginning, that's fine. It's absolutely not wrong. It is correct. It's totally okay to do this, okay? But remember, flat up top, tight wrist, squeezing the wrist tight when you punch, hitting with these two knuckles, tight wrap of the fist, thumb underneath here. Don't put your thumb out, okay? You don't want to punch with your thumbs out. They'll get caught, okay? You don't want to put it up here and push it down because it's still sticking out and can get caught. So you want to wrap it around here, all right? Or you want to push down here. But again, like I said, that's a little more, that's like, it's not advanced. It's just not beginner. But it's not really advanced, but it's not beginner. So if you want to wrap it here, this is absolutely okay. Short punch, long punch, uppercut, okay? Hitting with these two knuckles. Always aiming for these two knuckles. All right? The last thing I'd say with that is remember that when you are punching, whether you're here or whether you're here, you're relaxed. You always want your body as relaxed as possible because tension slows you down. It also robs you of power. It keeps the energy that you're trying to build up in your body. And when I say energy, I'm talking science energy here. I'm talking kinetic energy, potential energy, right? Energy at rest, energy in motion. I'm talking about movement energy. The tighter you are, the more restrained you are, the less of that you can build up and drive in to what you're doing. So you want to stay as relaxed as possible. And that means you can keep your hands relaxed until you throw the punch. So it's relax, squeeze, relax. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Because by the act of squeezing implies a release. Okay? So exhale when you punch and relax after you punch. So squeeze and exhale and come back. Try to keep that wrist flat. Make sure you're hitting with those two front knuckles. Keep that thumb wrapped underneath. I hope that answers your question. But it's an excellent question, and it's very hard. It's a very hard thing for people when they first get started to do, making sure their fists are right. But really, it comes down to squeezing your hand to make sure your wrist is locked and flat. If you do that, you'll start getting the right knuckles hitting just because you're aligning your arm right. And then you'll start hitting properly, and you'll get that biofeedback if you start hitting focus mitts and stuff. And you'll say, oh, yeah, I see what he means. I forgot to tighten my wrist, and I just, I'm not going to do that again. But in the meantime, it'll feel good. Okay? All right, I don't see any other questions. I hope that answered your question. And we are going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for joining. Feet together, arms out, everybody. Toes turned out, heels together, knees slightly bent. Okay? Arms out. Tisha. And bow. Mingla, everybody. Dismissed. Thank you all for joining us today. I'll see you all later on. Have a great one.